Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? I want to cut Bianca's hair so bad. Girl, that man is stressing you out. Your hair is so stringy. It's long, but it's thin, and you can see through it. Girl, ugh. Bianca almost needs to start over. She needs a short haircut. I mean, at least to her neck. She needs a bob up to her neck. That hair is not given. And it just make her, ooh, it is so dark. Okay, enough of that. Um, Troy, are you about to become a preacher or a pastor without even knowing it because times are hard and you don't want to go back to the streets? You ain't got no money. You might have to start preaching, child. And I told y'all Zaria was adopted. I'm like, there ain't no way these two people made this girl. Ain't no way. And then she got a brother and a sister, and none of them look alike. Well, she don't look like the siblings. I knew she was adopted. I told you. And honey, let me just put it out there. Melissa, no shade. Okay. No, maybe. Did your nose go back to the old? Did you go back to the old nose? Or what was the point of this nose job? What did they do? Because it don't look better. I don't even know if it looks different. It just don't look better. But anyway, hey besties. Welcome to Behind the Shade. Honey, let's get into some shade. And let's get into this episode. It's the new episode of Child Love or Life. Love and Life After Lockup is season 5, episode 45. You know, I think that this should be called Life After Lockup, season 6, episode 5. It's called Without Trust, You Have Nothing. And guess who said that? You'll never believe who said that quote and had the nerves to be the title of the episode. But this episode was, it seemed like a filler episode because two of the people that I like wasn't in this week's episode. So it made the boring people actually Bianca and Joey was kind of like the star of this episode, honey. And Zaria had to pipe down a little bit, so we got to see a different side of her. So this was a good filler episode. How would you rate this week's episode, bestie? And it wasn't bad because I was really into Bianca and Daniel. I mean, I was like, is this week's episode so boring that it's making Bianca and Daniel be the superstars of the week? Well, let's get into it. Don't forget to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel so that you're updated every time I post a video. I'm gonna start Bell Collective tonight. I think Love and Marriage Huntsville. Do they start back tonight? I think they do. I'm gonna add those two to it. I'm going to try to give it a go and get rid of Orange County. You know, after the reunions, I will not be able to add Beverly Hills to my schedule, and I will let go of New York, Real Housewives of New York. I can only, 5 shows is about what I can handle, but I'm going to do 6 because I will continue with Salt Lake City because it's so good. I will continue with Life and Love After Lockup. I'll continue, what else? Bell Collective. I will not continue, but I'll start. It'll be my first time. But I've been watching it from day 1, from season 1. So I do know what's going on. I'm going to add Bell Collective. Then I got Potomac. Then Married to Medicine is going to come back. Child, okay? The girl going to be busy. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to, sorry, besties, but I got to get rid of New York, and I will not add Beverly Hills because I prefer the other stuff. Because when have you ever in the history, in the universe of Bravo, have there's been 4 Real Housewives on at the same time? I mean, like right now it's Orange County, Potomac, Salt Lake City and New York. Like that has never happened. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Bianca and Daniel. So Daniel asked Bianca, does she have a drinking problem? Yeah, but you know that, right? Isn't that how your relationship started? Isn't that why she reached out to you? Wasn't alcohol the connection? Like, why is Daniel acting so random? He was really random in this episode. And I mean, I'm going to give him grace, but at the same time, I'm going to pick him apart a little also. So she says no. And, he's like, well, my cousin said you told him that. You told Rob you did. She was like, no, he was drunk. Then they flash back to her at the bar saying that she may have a problem with drinking, problem with alcohol. And she was like, he was drunk. No, I don't have no problem with it. And so then she stands in her truth. And this is where I said, okay, Bianca, kudos to you. I had to give it up to her. She spoke her truth. Regardless how you feel about her, she says, I don't think there's nothing wrong. And that is her truth because she doesn't. She likes to drink, just not every day. So that does not make her an alcoholic. That makes her someone who likes to drink. And when they do, they gonna put down about 3. And that's fair. Just hop in an Uber when you need to go somewhere. Don't drive to the bar, girl. So then she brings up, or he brings up the foreplay because he cannot believe she told his cousin that. And I got a question, besties. Now, we don't know where his parents live, but we know they flew into Arizona to see him. He's in jail in Arizona, and I get that. But was he living in Arizona before he got arrested? Because the cousin lives there with his wife. And so I'm just wondering, was he getting into mayhem in Arizona with the cousin and the cousin just didn't get caught up? I'm going to bring him in. Or is he from where his parents live and they just put him in Arizona because that's where they had room? Just kind of wanted to kind of get that cleared up on where the parents live and why. Did he live in Arizona before jail? I don't know. Let me know if you know. Just something I wanted to kind of tie in and kind of, I just want to know. So now remember, the foreplay is the issue, right? But remember, Daniel, he wasn't doing it even before he got arrested, because remember, the girls wasn't checking for him because he was an abuser of substance. So they wasn't fooling with him. So whenever he said it's been 6 years since he's done it. So she explains that she needs more than just kiss and stick it in. She's like, I need intimacy. And so he's just like, look, I've been around dudes and I might be aggressive from my pent up frustration. So I was like, okay, so is he saying that he couldn't take care of himself because he was around a whole bunch of men? And if so, that's why he's pent up full of frustration? Huh. So then I kind of thought at first, when he first said it, I was like, is he gay? It's always in the back of my mind with these prisoners. So he says he will try to be more romantic, and she says she appreciates that. So I like that they're having, a real conversation. So he asked, does she think she's codependent of him? And she looked at him like, boy, you just got out of jail 3-4 days ago. How am I being dependent of you? I'm the one with the money. And it's like, is he getting ready to talk about this coffee issue again? Are we going back to Coffee Gate again? So he was like, well, when I was in jail, you always wanted me on my tablet. So I'm assuming, he talked to her on his tablet and she always wanted him on, on air so she can talk to him and see what he's doing. And so he was like, yeah, because remember, you were investigating to see if I was talking to other women. And so she was like, yeah, that was before we got together. Yeah, I went on social media into some groups to see if you was in there hollering at some chicks. I want to check it out before I got involved with you. Honest conversation. So then he did tie this into the coffee. And it's like, child, we gonna talk about you. Why are you bringing it up? You didn't get her any coffee. You said you don't want to be no slave. You stood on business. You said I cooked breakfast. You could have got your. Why are you going back to that? See what I'm saying? Gay. Like you acting like females. Like we always harp on stuff and keep going, replaying stuff. Anyway, we'll move on. Don't come back for me now, bestie. Speak your opinion. Don't come for me about mine, okay? He said he says he will not be doing everything for her, and being that she seems that's what she wants, it's a red flag for him. So she was like, "Am I the red flag?" And he like, "Not you." But chill out. And so she thinks that that's how relationships go. You do stuff for me, I do stuff for you. And he like, no, no, don't live for someone else. Don't be like that, sister. Daniel don't need no needy woman. Daniel is in need. He's in need, so he don't need this little old girl with this stringy hair that need a haircut. That and and then he ain't even into her like that. That's why he not holding it down in the bedroom, because he not turned on. He's not turned on. You getting on his nerves. That's why he not performing. That's it could be emotional and mental for men too. And so she was like, do nice things for me. That's what I want you to do. And it's like, yeah, Daniel, you in a mess. Now, this girl moved to Arizona to be with you. She knows no one else out here. So she's going to be a tad bit clingy onto you, homie. She's going to be a little clingy. And had you thought about this, maybe you should have went to the halfway house, and I'll get into that a little later on why I'm saying that. So, he's like, well, we'll see how our actions are towards each other. We'll see, and that should tell us how we feel about each other. Okay, cool. So then they decide to go for a walk. He walks outside the apartment, asks her, does she have her phone? She says yes. And then he's like, oh, wait, let me go back and get my phone. So really what that was, he went back in the living room to get the ring. He bought a ring and he wanted to grab the ring because he wanted to propose. Let me get some water. Besties, drink your water. So they go for a walk. And she's like, hold my hand. Let's hold hands. And it's like, he don't even know to hold hands. Like, what is going on, Daniel? You don't have no romantic bones in your body. So now he's walking fast and he ain't holding her hand right. He don't know how, girl. He been pent up for 6 years, child. 5 years in jail, and that 1 year he wasn't getting none. He just pent up, child. So now, hold on. Oh, so when he got the ring, he did come outside and say that he had butterflies about proposing. So he was feeling a little like, he wasn't normal. He really felt, had butterflies. So he's a little nervous. And that may be what had happened when they went for their walk, but I'm still going to tear into him a little bit. So she's asking, like, what's wrong? So he's like, I'm not comfortable with being in an open space. Like, I haven't been this free in 5 years. And he's used to being in a box. And she kind of was like, oh, yeah, you used to be in a box. She was kind of understanding that. And here's my thing, besties. Daniel, you have only been in jail 5 years. 5. He act like he been in jail 40 years. Like, dude, I don't think being in jail only 5 years would have you just all uncomfortable with being outside. Like, huh? So I just don't think you're out of touch with outside. But you could be because it was Arizona. You probably can't go outside because it's too hot. But you just don't seem like you was that hardcore, and you wasn't in there for no nothing serious besides what you was doing to yourself. So I don't think you was like, oh no, where's in the hole. You wasn't, but you ain't that hard, Daniel. Come on now. And I'm about to figure out which jail he was in because you acting like you was in the hole for 5 years. You didn't come outside not one time, and you just don't know how to act. It just seems like coming outside will be great for you. Breath of fresh air, in touch with nature. You could clear your mind up. But maybe it was just too hot for him. Or maybe he was just nervous because he was thinking of proposing and it's just a little too soon. And I think he even knows that because I don't even think he liked Bianca. Okay, so he's telling her not to yell at him. She ain't even yelling at you. She talked all soft. I don't even think Bianca knows how to yell. So she's telling him that she's trying not to argue, and she says sorry, and she's apologizing because she doesn't know, she doesn't get it, and she's like apologizing for that. And then he starts yelling at her. So he was like, he wants her to cut him some slack. Huh? But now she's annoyed because she didn't know that walking outside would be this hard. And yeah, it is like weird. It's weird because Daniel, it's only been 5 years, sir. You are not that out of touch with being outside and feeling heat. You're just not that out of touch. You cannot, somebody would have to tell me otherwise. So now, Daniel, it's a question of, are you really overwhelmed with being outside? Or is that ring in your pocket causing you to act like this? Because it just doesn't seem like 5 years would have you like this. And normally I'm on Daniel's side because that Bianca is just nuts. But I'm on Bianca's side now. She's all, she's on guard because she just didn't know that going for a walk was going to be like this. He didn't know either. And she's trying to deal and be there. And she don't know what's happening. And he's not really saying it. He just wants, everything is about Daniel. Everything is about Daniel. And that's not fair. So, and it makes me wonder, like, is he gay? Has he been touched on inappropriately? Does he have issues from that? Was he beat up? Did he see stuff that wasn't humane? Like, why is he so something? It just makes me think something happened in jail. Something happened, and it happened more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to where his whole reaction is just so odd. I don't know. It makes you wonder, like, does he just rather have a man? Like, is being with a woman so odd for him? Okay. So, and if it is, fine. Be with a man. Bring your man on the show next season. We cool with that. And it's just make you like, is he missing somebody in jail? Like, is there someone in jail that he left there that he misses? Like, what is going on? So now she's crying and he walks off. She don't know where he go. He just walking away. So Brittany says this will not be a normal relationship. Girl, you knew that starting off. You ain't even normal. What do you mean normal? You got the boyfriend from jail. How is this going to be normal? And maybe that's what I'm saying. I believe that Daniel should have gone to the halfway house. Like maybe that would have been a time for him to be able to adjust back into society since he's having problems with the outside. He didn't have no problem. He was outside with his cousin. So maybe he should have went to the halfway house where he could have just done some therapy and get himself together and give himself time to get acclimated back into society. And then he could have saw, Bianca, sometimes, because they don't stay in there all day. They do get to go out and look for a job and school and, hang out with family and friends and just go back. Maybe he needed that time. Okay, moving on. Oh, no. So she finds him sitting on somebody else's porch, sweating in the sun, and they talk, and they're being, loving, and he just said this is a lot for him. And so, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna give him grace, but to me, 5 years just isn't long enough to be reacting to the outside like this. But this is his story. He didn't expect this to happen, and then she finally gets a hug from him, and then he explains to her that he's not mad at her. He just didn't know he was going, But Besties, do you think he's just tripping because he uh don't want to propose? Because that would make sense, but he's gonna blame it on, but she doesn't know because she, this is her first guy from jail, and she's only 23, so he can tell her whatever. But child, 5 years is just not long enough to be tripping off the outside. Like that's just no. Really? He act like he was caged in like an animal for 5 years. Boy, please. Britney and Krock. Britney is at the wedding dress shop with this $600 dress on that she loves. Still talking to the PO. PO is telling her Texas is very weary of people that just randomly all of a sudden get married because they get denied access, approval to move there. And then all of a sudden, when you reapply, you're married now because you want to move so bad. And now that your spouse is family. So again, the PO does not think getting married be a good idea. They just don't see it like that in Texas. They know what that little scam is about. So Brittany she's moving forward. So she buys this dress. And I'm just like, really? You bring nothing to this family. You have no job, no income, no nothing. And you just sat there last week and went over your budget. And you still got the nerves to spend this money on this dress. It had better been on sale. Because honey, why you couldn't go to H&M or go to Forever 21 and find you some cute little white dress to get married in? Wasn't nobody gonna be there but coffee and your best friend. Oh, like why are you putting on? Okay. So they back at the little cramped up apartment. They're staying at Coffee's. Coffee is in there trying to be a man and a woman at the same time. Okay, girl, boy. And so they're getting ready to get married. Brittany's putting her eyelashes on. Key-Rock's getting his suit out. And Brittany's energy is just bad. It's just low. And even Coffee was like, y'all so solemn feeling like y'all there to get married. You supposed to be happy, you know. And this is all because Brittany has something that she's not telling Key-Rock about. And so she's trying to, so the Key-Rock and Key-Rock called Coffee cough drop when they left. And so they going on to the venue, and get ready because they got to meet the officiant. So Brittany's best friend comes over and helps her get dressed. She's doing her hair. Brittany's doing her makeup. Brittany is stressed out. She's trying to call her grandmother to talk because she just don't know what to feel, what to think, what to say when she just full of stress. She can't think in this short period of time. She don't know if she should get married because she really wants a big wedding. They agreed not to tell nobody. She's trying to call her grandmother. The best friend is like, I thought you wasn't telling nobody. And she's just like, ah. So then Brittany is late they're getting married right by some water, really pretty, serene, outside, nice. So they meet at the lake. She comes walking down the aisle, which kind of, walking in the grass with her dress on. And, her friend did her hair kind of okay. It was cute. It wasn't bad. And they're getting ready to get married. She speaks to the officiant. He says, I got this. Let's do it. Woo, woo, woo. He getting ready to start. And Brittany interrupts their wedding because she has something to tell Key-Rock. And we got to wait to see what happens on the next week. Okay. So then let's go to Melissa and Louie. And I was just watching this and I said, you know what? Melissa acts just like Louie's mama. That's why he likes her. He liked the more feisty women, always talking, always complaining, always groping, and just always got something to say. Don't like nothing. Just, you know how you have met somebody who just like being mad? You just like, you know what? This person just like being mad. And that is our friend Melissa with the nose. She like being mad. And she is just irritating. Poor Louie. So anyway, Melissa's at the bar. She's asking her boss, can she get off early? Because her and Louie have a date that night. The boss is like, sure. You know, and so Melissa, oh, hating friend, come in the bar. And you know, you just can't trust no friend that wear black lipstick that orders a beer and a shot. Like, girl, you drink like a trucker. You drink like a man. You what are you doing? Like, here you come. You know, you used the black cloud. So here come the black cloud. And so she's asking her, has she seen Louie's videos? You know, he's a personal trainer and he trains mostly women, young women. So she's like, did you see this video? So so Louie is at the gym training a girl, and yes, sometimes you gotta touch them because you gotta show them, you know, posture and stamina, and you got strategy and how to, stand. You gotta learn how to stand and get the ropes and do this and do that before they hurt themselves. That's a part of your job. And so she tells a friend, you know, I just hope he's not doing anything wrong because, you know, she's jealous because of her past. And she knows he loves her, but she even admit that she's always angry. So the friend is like, you know, be cautious because why this job? And Melissa's like, yeah, you know, like there's other jobs he can get. Well, that may be true, but remember, your dude has a jail record. He is a felon. They do have places that will hire him, but this is what he wants. This is his passion. And Louis is working hard, and we're not going to interfere with Louis's hustle, okay? What we're not going to do is get upset about Louis's hustle because last week you said you was mad because he worked too much and you don't see him, and you like when he was in jail, he was always available. Well, he's not in jail, and now that he's out, he has to bring money to the house, honey, because all your bills are gonna go up with an adult in the house. Food, utilities, just toiletries. He needs to bring in an income. Don't Hey, he got to catch up. Let this man get himself together. Cause look at Joey. He over there crying and don't want to work and picking up kids and we're gonna get on him next. So, girl, you need to calm down because your boy is hustling and I'm here for it. Okay. Now I understand you don't want to eat pizza all the time, but I mean, there's a way of saying that too. Now you be happy that he bringing something in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like Louis is doing good. So Melissa just says she don't know if she'll ever start getting jealous. And I'm like, oh, you will, because you mentioned it later. You will. So, and at this point, Melissa, you need to go ahead and get you some help before you get married. Because if you even look back and play back these episodes, you are just always upset and mad about everything. Get help. And because, you know, it seems like you enjoy being angry, Melissa. And this is a time of your life. You've been waiting for this man to get out. Can you just enjoy it? Be in the moment. So Louis has a plan to propose to Melissa the night of their date night because he loves her so much. And he loves Melissa because she's so independent and so loyal. So, honey, he didn't call up Joe, his friend Joe. Hi, Joe. Mm, mm. Joe's not wearing a hat this week, so he does have hair and a hairline. Hi, Joe. So he gets Joe to help him out. Joe, they go over to the lighthouse, and they're digging "Marry Me?" question mark heart in the sand, right? So his plan is really cute. He's having second thoughts. I think that's pretty normal for men who want to propose, you know. And so Melissa's running late. And then when she get there, she complaining. So he wants to meet her at a lighthouse. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna walk up all these stairs, and when they get up there, they're gonna walk around to the side where the sand is, and she'll see the question, and then he's gonna propose. And so, he got the ring. So here she comes. She's late. She's complaining because he didn't tell her to wear comfortable shoes. She looks cute. Now the girl put some clothes on. She looked good. She got on all black, cute little leather leggings with a little some kind of little black top, but her boots were cute and they were heels. And she was like, "You should have told me I'm wearing comfortable shoes. I didn't know I was going hiking, Louie." Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I don't like surprises. I don't like the heights. I don't like breathing. I don't like my nose. I don't like working two jobs. I don't like eating pizza every day. I don't like your mama. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like your teeth. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh my God. Oh, she just complained about everything. I don't want to go outside. It's cold. I want to go in. It's just like, golly. So they walk to where the question is in the sand down, by the beach. And then it finally shuts her up when he shows it to her. She goes, "Is that for me?" Oh, now you feel stupid, huh? She just smiling and laughing, doing that guilty laughing. And so he gets on one knee and he asks, "Will you marry me?" And she says, "Yes," 4 times. I counted. Yes, 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 yes. The ring is beautiful. She was like, they say they love each other. And she cannot believe this ring is so beautiful. She said it's what she wanted and more. She said, "I just asked him for a 2 carat ring." She's like, "I had no idea what it looked like, what it was going to be like. I just threw out a number." And she asked him, "Is this real?" Like, what? So now she tells him she's not mad at him no more about the women he trained. He can do whatever he wants. She don't care, honey. The jealousy has left the building. But honey, will the anger leave with the jealousy, honey? Because you angry and jealous, okay? So he was like, "Yeah, we'll get married in a year." She like, "That's too long." And he was like, "Well, wait a minute. I gotta see because people change, and I don't want this to change you." And I'm like, "Yes, you do want her to change. Please say you want her to change, Louie. I can't deal with all this stress of you. I feel bad for you. All this fussing and fussing and fussing." So she was like, "Well, you need she thinks, did I just stutter? She thinks waiting a year to get married is just too long." And she said, "You already bought the milk." And so he's like, "Oh, so are you my heifer?" And I'm like, "Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is your heifer child. Yes." And whatever he said about that, I want that to be the title of the show. Like, does that make you a heifer or are you my heifer? Whatever he said, that should be the title of the show. Kim and Joey. Now, this filler episode is something else where Joey and Bianca are holding my interest. But let's talk about Joey and this hoarse voice. Why he lost his voice? Like, this might be the 3rd week. What happened to his voice? We're not talking about this voice. What's going on? And so they go out to eat. This is after she went to the dress shop with her cousin. So she tells him that they met and it was good for them. They were able to apologize and get and talk or whatever. He's like, "Oh, that's good." And so she's like, "Oh, I gotta tell you something. I'm not divorced." And Joey is like, "What? Wait a minute, what?" And he's like, "I gotta go smoke." And I want to say, "Smoke what?" Because why your voice like that? What's up with you, Joey? That's all I want to know. Something's up with Joey. Are you on that candy? What are you doing? Is it pills? Because I don't know, but he doing something. Cause yeah. So his feelings are hurt and he feels betrayed. And so he says, she says she can't trust me, but I don't think I can trust her. And so that's when he says, without trust, you have nothing. And it's like, now this is something when you agree with Joey on something, and Joey was not wrong in nothing he was saying. He was like, oh, so she got her ex on the back burner. That's how he feels because, if you don't want somebody, you would be getting divorced. And she's like, oh, no, that's not what happened. It was so much going on with you. And I don't want him. She's like, I'm not romantically involved. I'm not attracted. I do want the divorce. She just say, I'm trifling. I'm a trifling HO and I ain't took care of it. I'm ghetto and I like to do ghetto divorces where I just move on and don't file. But you want to marry Joey, and Joey wants to marry Kim. Huh. So he was like, and you think I'm an idiot? And I just did y'all kiki when he said that? I'm not an idiot. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, okay, Joey. Okay. Just because people was paying to keep your driver's license up while you was locked up don't make you Einstein, sir. But okay. So he was like, when we get home, you need to call an attorney. I got questions. You got to file for a divorce. We can't get married and buy a house until you divorce. I'm not going to get no job and pay for a house and he could take it. That house is half his. He telling the truth. And he was like, so she finally apologized when he came back from smoking because before that, she was talking smack back. It's like, girl, really? So she apologizes and she doesn't want to be married to her ex. And he demands that they going to make an appointment with the lawyer and you going to file your paperwork. And she's like, hey, yes, daddy. Uh-huh. So who else we got? I guess the last couple, yeah, we didn't get any Mike and Justine, and we didn't get my favorite Teeny and Rob. But did you see the previews for next week? And I try not to watch the previews, but baby, I don't know if that's all of that's gonna happen next week, or is this just the rest of the season? Because honey, it's a lot going on. This is gonna be good. So let's go on over here to New York to Zaria and Troy. Child, after dinner with the parents that evening, after they went to bed, child, the upstairs part of the house caught on fire. Child, are you serious? What's the psychic's name? Patrice? Did Patrice do that? Well, she predicted some stuff was gonna come between. Some stuff was gonna happen. She didn't. Well, she wasn't specific, but the whole upstairs was affected, like her brother's bedroom, where her son be at. Blah blah blah. Some of the windows upstairs were boarded up. There were shoes in the bed and in the fire debris outside on the side of the house. They went back the next day to look at um, what happened because when they went back that night, she couldn't see anything because it was the fire. All she saw was water from the firefighters and the smoke. But the house needs to be repaired, so they are, they're somewhere else in the time being. So the psychic predicted all this, and Zaria is trying to connect this fire and what the psychic said to her relationship not working out. Troy is like, but I'm still here. Hello, you see me? We're together, we're married, and we're here. And she just hoping for the worst. It's just like, Zaria, how did y'all get here? Like, you in jail, everything's so perfect, you in love. This man told you to get divorced before he's pursued you. That's a man right there. That is a man. He was like, no, show me some divorce papers first. He made you an honest woman. Why can't you just be an honest woman? What is making Zaria go to the psychic? Like, why is that so necessary for her? She just can't read her horoscope and keep it moving. Child. Now she thinks her mama not talking to her because her mother not answering the phone. And she thinks, oh, she must be mad at me because I went to see that psychic. And I'm like, she probably is. But Zaria, her house caught on fire. Honey, she is on the phone with the insurance company. She got to get the claims in. She got to talk back and forth with the people, honey. She got to get her house back together. Girl, she ain't got time for you. She got to figure out how to make the temporary house manageable. She busy. She's busy. And you full of crap. She probably need to kind of ice you out a little bit. So she finally gets her mom on the phone. And so her mom is like, reminding her that, we the people of God. We don't do this witchcraft stuff. Our faith and our future is in God's hands. And that's what we believe, And she's like, okay. And so Troy gets picked up. He goes to the church with her dad because they are going to have their community day for prayer for Project Heal. They're going to have their community day at the church since they can't have it there because they ain't paid the rent. Okay, so Troy is talking about how he's fighting the temptation to get back in the streets and do what he do because they need money. He ain't got it, and that's what he knows how to do. But he trying to change, and the friend says don't do it, and um, and then we'll discuss what the other reason why he's trying not to go back to the streets. So Pops is out there in the parking lot showing him where, the grill could be, where the bouncy house for the kids and this and that and that. So he said, let's go inside church. So Pops is like, so tell me, son, like, if you did a sermon, what would you talk about? Get on up there and just let me know. What would you say? Because, the people need to know what you done been through. So, what's his name? Troy goes up to the pulpit and he's like, and so he tells his father-in-law about his dad. He lost his dad not that long ago, maybe a year or 2 or 3 ago. He lost his dad to a kidney disease, and the last thing he heard his dad say was, son, I'm done. Like, I'm out. I give up. I'm out of here. And he takes a lot of blame for his dad's health because his dad did not, like him going in and out of jail. So he's carrying that guilt. And they were very close. And he just, talking about the street life and all this and all that. So Pops was like, I have listened to a lot of beginner preachers, and your story has so much truth to it, So, he trying to con Troy into ministry. Troy ain't with it, but Troy needs some money. And if he get up there and get to talking his talk and get paid, get an offering, and he start liking that, he might become one. I ain't mad. But that's not how ministry works either, Pops. You just don't pick somebody and tell them to preach. They got to be called by the Lord. Okay. So he don't think preaching, is the way to go, but he do know he has a voice, and he could probably just help, underprivileged kids, or like with the Project Heal, he can help the people within the program because those are dealing with ex-cons and children. Okay, so next, Zaria's mom comes over to her house and they sit down and have a talk. And so mom's is dressed to the nines, honey. She has those long locks. She wears head wraps, but not today, honey. What's her name? Joe, something with a J. Miss J, honey, has on an afro wig. It got sparkles all in it, honey. She got a flower on the side, honey. Her makeup is done. She got her cute little black fit on. She got her little tennis shoes on. I'm like, wait a minute, lady. Now, if the upstairs burnt up, didn't that mean your closet burnt up? Don't tell me you done went out here and bought you some stuff because you displaced and you done went shopping for yourself. Child, I'm sorry. I just thought people who or have who had experienced a fire with their house. I just thought they would be just real plain and simple, looking a little destitute and depressed, but not ma'am, because she believes in Jesus, honey. He told her to go get her some new clothes and a new wig and make yourself feel better through this chaos. And I ain't mad at it, honey. She looks good. But I said, well, wait a minute now. You supposed to be okay, girl, they got good insurance, honey. That's what that tells me. And then, the people at the church, they probably like, sis, they helped out, because I would too, because I'm very sure that church is big and it's huge, parking lot huge. They have a congregation. They just not filming it on Sundays, but there's a congregation. You ain't in that big old building with them but two people in it, but what they show us is what they show us though. So Zaria brings up her wedding, her and Troy's wedding. And she pretty much like, ain't y'all gonna help pay? What's up? Because we trying to plan this thing here. Give us some money. We ain't got no money. And it's like, Zaria, why are you worried about a wedding? Girl, you got to get... Girl, you 30 days from being over there with your mama. Girl. You got other fish to fry. You need to make sure your project here, get that grant going. Did you fill out that grant and send the grant? You need to get your grant game up. You need to ask your mama for some money for the back rent. Worried about a wedding. Goodness. Don't this remind y'all of Jen from OC? Goodness. So she wants to make sure that her parents are on board with helping pay for the wedding. Mom's like, yeah, what else you want to know? We got you. We're gonna put our portion in year in. You just gotta sit down. We just gotta sit down and plan it out. Next question. What else you got me over here for? You psychic heifer, you. So, honey, just like I done told y'all on the first time I saw Zaria that girl was adopted. So she then got in touch with her biological father last year. And well, we know she found her mother, but I'm gonna assume she found him on social media also. And let's just assume Facebook, because that's where the OGs are. And so he never knew about Zaria. Can you believe that? 32 years later, okay, that's 31 years later, someone hit you up and say, hey, Dad, at 31, and got a 10-year-old son and on her second marriage. What? And it makes me just wonder, Zaria, why are you looking for him now? Like, why have you never, did he just get on Facebook? Like, because we've been Googling people for the last 15 years, I'm thinking. Like, why are you just now wanting to find your father? I need that question answered, because it just seemed like you should have been. Maybe she has looked for him before, but I don't know. Because we could have done this a long time ago. So yeah, I need an answer. So she hooks up with him and she meets his family, and she showed pictures of her kicking it. And I'm like, okay. And there was some guy she was in the pool with. He was handsome, and they kind of looked like they may have been brothers and sisters, maybe. So she over there kicking it with the family, and now she feels complete. And her mother supports all of that. Like, she was like, I support it all. She ain't tripping like that. She know her place in this life, right? So she says she wants her bio to walk her down the aisle. So mama was like, well, that's good as long as your daddy's on the other side. Stand up for your man, your man, your man, your man. She was like, but no, I want dad to marry us. So mom's like, oh, okay. You better, because don't be icing my husband out, honey. We raised you. We came and got you, and you was a baby. So we learned that Zaria's mom, her biological mother, gave her up for adoption when she was 16. And so we don't know when the family adopted her, but when Zaria turned 3, they told her she was adopted. And I guess they wanted to get ahead of it before people started talking in the family. You know, you don't want to hear about it and then you go home mad. Why you didn't tell me? Because of course the family is talking because she's very light skinned and they're brown and dark, and you know people go, you know, us, we gonna talk about it now, you know, we gonna talk about it. So they wanted her to know before outside told them, and I totally understand that. I'm just sitting here, when I heard, I was like, well, isn't 3 too young? But maybe not, I don't know. She probably didn't even know what they was talking about, but at least, you know, if she hears it again, she can be like, oh, that sounds familiar. She could at least say at 3 or 4, my mom, they told me, you know, she could at least have a rebuttal. um it's still not understand exactly, but she can at least say something in return if someone else tried to, you know, throw them under the bus. So mom's asked, you know, did you talk to your dad about this? And she was like, no, I wanted to talk to you first, you know, to see, you know, how to approach this. Huh, okay. So then we find out she did reach out to her biological mom on social media, and I'm gonna assume Facebook. And honey, that heifer didn't even welcome Zaria to her. She was like, girl, excuse you, I put you up for an adoption. The adoption is closed. Thank you for coming. Now go on about your business. Now gone, now gone. I'm like, wow, okay. And so I said, well, you know what? Zaria's biological mother did the right thing, honey. Yes, she did. So her mother was explaining to her, like, you know, your biological was very much welcomed into your life if that's what she wanted to do, but she made her choice. And mom said, you know, I appreciate them because, you know, if it wasn't for them, you know, I have you all. And I said, you all? What you mean, you all? Who else is adopted? Besties, do y'all know? Because the brother looks like them. The brother looks to me, he looked like the dad and the mama. Is Zion adopted too? Hmm, maybe. Because she said, y'all, you all. Okay, so Zaria talks about her emotions of being adopted, and just feeling like you're not enough to your biological parents, talking about her mother, and just, but also loving the family that loved you, that loves you, So she said, even at 32, it's still hard. Yeah, because your mama just said, I don't want to be bothered with you. So there you go, not feeling like you're enough. And her mother even said, like, I would want to know my biological parents too. Well, now you know. And sometimes that curiosity will just mess you up each and every time. But I'm glad her biological father accepted her because he had no idea. He didn't even know. I wondered if he'd get in touch with her mom and be like, Heifer, you didn't even tell me you was pregnant. And why she didn't keep her for herself. And so then they discussed, her and her mom discussed skin color. I just wanted you to know because, the rest of the family is darker, you're lighter. And then Zuri was like, yeah, I used to catch crap from them, talking about, you light skin and all that old stuff. Kids are cruel and people talk and blah, blah, blah. So they talked within the family because she was the lighter person while everybody was the darker person, and that just was uncomfortable too. And oh, Zaria, we got to see a different side of her, more calmer. You know, this was a whack filler, boring episode in that regard, but we got to see the three people that they get on our nerves every week. We see them in a different light. Joey was saying the truth, but he owns something. Bianca was speaking her truth, and I'm glad. But Daniel, yeah, Daniel, you got a story to tell. Zaria told her story today. It's your turn. Tell us what happened in there, Daniel. Tell us what they did to you in there. Because this is not about the outside, honey. You missing somebody in that prison. Well, besties, that was it for the episode. I will see you on the next video. Bye, besties.